Welcome to Dry Arabia! And today in the east corner of the map we have got Kasva playing in red as the Mongols. And his opponent in the northwest, we've got Kor playing in yellow as the English. Welcome everyone to this Age of Empires forecasted game, and well, it's an interesting civilization matchup. The English are very much favourite of Age of Empires 4 players up and down the world. Lots of people play the civilization. It's one of the classic ones, one of the OG ones, one of the originals, one of the standard civilizations, if you could say. It's probably one of the most easiest to learn and play. Probably also in many ways one of the most fun to play. Many of these adjectives could be also applied to the Mongols. A nomadic civilization, one of a kind. It's a civilization which TCs do move around and all their buildings do too. Apart from the Uvu, once it's built. And it's going to be an interesting matchup. I think a lot of things have changed with these two civilizations in recent patches. The Mongols have recently become more of a trading civilization. I've been really strong with that regard, actually. The Silver Tree, I think it's one of the last landmarks that effectively do trade for the civilizations particularly well. I think Mongols generally are the best trading civilization at the moment. Probably one of the civilizations that still kind of effectively use it. The French are another one, kind of strangely enough, another civilization that kind of began to do a bit more trading. Never really used to be a trading civilization, to be honest. The Chamber of Commerce, not really usually a thing, but I'd say that Kasva has a civilization on his hands that could do trading well. But they can do many things well. You know, they could do the outpost rush quite nicely as well. Obviously, they can't really do that very well against the English, which is what actually makes English a very nice civilization to play as a beginner. Because nothing, it's not very nice going up against an outpost rush when you're starting to play Age of Empires 4. So the English is certainly a good civilization for that. And, I mean, the Mongols, they also had recently the new unit, the Keshik, which I think has really revolutionized this civilization. And in many ways, we talked about trade being an important issue for this civilization, or important ability, something they can do quite well. Well, I think a lot of it comes down to the ability of the Keshik, getting out onto the map, that mobility, the movement speed, the strength. It's really, really strong. Now, speaking of mobility, well, the English are going for the Abbey of the Kings, and I really like this decision because against the Mongols, you're always going to have to try and deny their trade, the possibility of trade at least. Like, even if Silver Tree is not being used by Kasva, the threat of trade is always there. And the English going for longbowmen and spearmen, which they commonly do against other civilizations, it's not really an option in this matchup because of the fact that, well, that limits the mobility and it allows the trade to kind of boom freely. It's difficult to place yourself around the map. And not only that, with the English, with that army composition of longbowmen and spearmen, you have to take really good engagements. Like, if you're caught out of position, it can literally be the end of the game because of it. It's very snowbally. If you take one bad fight, or even one good fight as the English, things can actually get out of hand in the game. But with the Abbey of the Kings, it gives just a little slightly different dimension to things, right? I think Kor's going to end up opening with a stable. He's going to have the king to try and micro his horsemen against the Mongols Khan and the Keshik. And we'll see how this one pans out. I like this strategy, this idea that Kor has. We have to really kind of come up with new ways to deal with the Mongols and their abilities, because it does get out of hand sometimes with the trade. It's going to open them up with a barracks actually, Kasva, which is an interesting choice. I guess he sees he spots the Abbey of the Kings, but whilst he was building that, unfortunately he lost the Khan, which is a bit sloppy by his high regards. And unfortunately now for Kasva, he's not going to have much scouting for the rest of the game unless he actually invests in another. Well, I mean, he has to wait for the Khan to come out, right? But he could invest in another scout to assist his civilization today. Well, in any case, with that kind of little initial chit-chat over and done with, we're going to head into the meat of the game with both civilizations now reaching that feudal age very soon. Hope you guys have been enjoying the casted content on the channel. Plenty of more coming, of course. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell if you enjoy watching the casts. I think only around 70%, I think actually it's the other way around, only about 30% of you who actually watch the videos are actually subscribed, and I can understand that. It's a lot of effort to press that subscribe button. But you know what? It really helps as well if you want to keep up to date and get the notifications whenever I post. It's mostly daily content now, which I'm pretty happy to try and keep continuing to do, because I'm enjoying Age of Empires 4 at the moment. It's in a really good spot, this game. Not only that, a new DLC coming very soon with new civilization, the Japanese confirmed pretty much here, on the Steam page at least, and plenty of more content on that DLC, I'm sure. I mean, the developers I think they've classed it as the biggest DLC that has ever happened for Age of Empires 4. If that doesn't tell you something, I don't know what will. As we now see the king approaching, and he's going to be leading his army here for the English forward with the horseman and the scout, giving the vision. The 3 types of cavalry units available to the English, all on display here in the feudal age. And well, I enjoy looking at the king. He's going to be a nice unit to keep an eye on in this game and see how much value he can get as he rides across the desert wasteland of Dry Arabia, heading towards that market. He wants to see exactly what's happening, where the trade has begun. But interestingly enough, Casva's actually floating a lot of wood. It kind of smells like a second town centre play. And he's got a really strong position in terms of baseball, like the gold, the wood, and the deer camp so close to each other. It's so strong. And that's what's really kind of helping him being quite greedy and aggressive on the booming side of things. Meanwhile, Core, on the other hand, is having to really start to put on some pressure and get that map positioning if he can. He has got an archery range being built, so we'll be getting some longbows as well. Horseman longbowman will be a nice combination for the English. Just has to be careful not to get his army caught off guard. Speaking of off guard, I'm caught off guard a little bit here as to where Core has his units, playing as yellow colours. Kind of disorientating, very difficult to see the units on the minimap. At least from my non-magnified window of it. You guys have the pleasure of the magnifying glass there on the bottom right of your screen. Now, just to mention as well, actually, I've got the Call to Arms logo there, which I quite possibly shouldn't do, because it's not actually part of that tournament, so I'll probably have to get rid of that soon. But it has been a fantastic tournament recently for EGC TV. There we go, we'll get rid of that. I've enjoyed casting a lot of games for. I think it's going to be fantastic for the esports scene for Age of Empires 4. It was a very welcome return for EGC TV. We certainly have missed them. And, well, what Casva hasn't missed is the opportunity to take out a second town centre for his economy. And a lot of villagers building that, so he wants that quick time, doesn't he? Decent number on that thing. 14 villagers in total. Does have the silver tree, hasn't moved it to the corner just yet. As I say that, he's literally doing that now. Has a Khan on the west side of the map, just keeping an eye on what might be expanding for the English in terms of economy. Has a palisade wall. Needs to be careful because the Mongols are very good at raiding. That's one thing that they're really adept at doing. And so Core wants to not be caught off guard by getting a couple of palisade walls up. He's kind of obviously very still open on the west side. Could do well to get palisade walls here if he wants to play the late game, which is where the English shine. So it's something that he might be looking to do. Now with 2 town centres and trade for Casva, this is very greedy. Kind of interesting that he actually put the silver tree there, not in the corner. I'm not entirely sure why that's the case, but anyway, it is what it is. And now Core is looking to transition his food economy to the deer rather than farms, which is an interesting one. And I like it because it's good to get the free food off the map. We do often see the English open up with the farms though. Well, slowly but surely, villager counts will start to rise for Casva because he does have that second town centre running now, and I think he might be getting some traders too, but the way on that front. Well, Core looking to be aggressive. He has 14 military versus 8. Certainly has the advantage in that front, and he might look to take down the Ubu. Now, Casva needs to be careful. He needs to start double producing as much as he can. I mean, he's collecting the stone for now, but he loses the Khan again for the second time in the game. I hope you guys are keeping count, because that's the second time. I wonder how many times we'll lose it in total. But the king and his army are doing decent damage, and I think Casva is going to lose the Ubu here. Won't be able to double produce beyond that, but the good thing he's done, the clever thing he's done, is actually queued them up, right? So once the Ubu goes down, these guys, these 2 times 2 Keshiks will still remain in the queue. Although it won't if the actual building gets taken down. We'll see. Core not going for that though. Because this is actually kind of interesting, because Core doesn't know that this is queued up, right? If he takes out the stable, then the units won't be being produced. And he's going to go for it now. The silver tree has been moved a little bit. 2 Keshiks pop out, and miniature numbers starting to build up for Casva, which is exactly what he needs, but he's going to be careful not to be too punished by the second town centre opening. Moving the silver tree a little bit more. Out of harm's way for now. We need to keep the stable up until that second batch of Keshiks come out, and then maybe relocate. Will he have the time though, because there's a lot of torch damage coming out. It's on fire. I'm not sure. Will he manage it? I think he loses the stable here. Oh no, he loses the stable before the Keshiks come out. Nice sniping there by Core. Takes the engagement. A couple of spearmen diving in, but he lost the stable. Keshiks are going to look to take the longbowman out. Spearmen going to engage on the horseman. He does lose a horseman. Good push back here by Casva, all things considered. And the horseman and the king are going to back off now. But on the back of this, Casva does have that eco set up. 2 town centres. Wheelbarrow coming in for Core. No second town set of him just yet. He might be going for the castle age, and that would unlock him that King's Palace. Second town centre potentially here for the English, and I think that's a good approach because he will have the tech advantage. The only concern though for Core is that having the 2 TCs and castle age, a lot of resources will go into that, and he may not have as many resources as he would like for unit production. But having said that, the Mongols are being pretty passive themselves. Maybe the English will look to get some of those relics to set himself up for the late game. He's now getting survival techniques just to increase the speed of gathering food from the deer. And there is another Khan arising from the ashes for the Mongols. Silver Tree moving out again. I'm not sure why he's not putting it in the corner. What's this fascination of this spot? Am I missing something, guys? Let me know in the comment section below if I'm missing something. I don't think so. That's a bit kind of an odd one. Speaking of that, whilst you're down there in the comment section below, do think about dropping your favorite emoji. It really helps out the algorithm for promoting these YouTube videos. And hopefully the more success I have on YouTube, the more content I can bring to you guys. I've got big plans. I'm not going to share them just yet. But I do have big plans for Age of Empires 4. First of all, going to get a new PC just to upgrade the content quality. That's not it. There's going to be more behind that. And you guys will find out sooner or later. Especially when the new DLC drops. Aplakesh is going to dive on the villagers. Villagers do get out of there behind the walls, the palisade walls. Good thing he built those in the end. He escapes for now. And we do hear traders popping out though. For Kazva. So the trader is now starting to get online. And he feels safe to do so. He's got units. And behind this court is going to go for a second town centre in the form of the King's Palace and get that tech up to the Castle Age. Building it with 12 villages is going to be up and running very soon. He is 8 villages behind, but also there's traders to consider as well. So whilst there's 2 town centres versus 2 town centres, Kazva does also have trade, which is going to be very dangerous. Now, really the game plan for the Mongols has got to be keeping the English back at home. You won't want the English to get the mobility. The good thing for court is he's going to get the veterancy for the horsemen, and he could potentially get some knights out after that too. Does have wood to be able to drop a monastery should he wish to do so. And I think he should really, because he doesn't really have enough resources to continue producing out of two stables rather in terms of knights. And so we'll be dropping that monastery to collect some of those relics. I like that play. He will enjoy that passive gold coming in if he can. There are 5 villages garrisoning a ball in the outpost, and they do. But he's got to be careful. Does have the army head in that position. Looking to try and snipe out a Keshik or 2, using the aura of the king to heal up units as they travel. Gets a charge in and might snipe the Khan. Could this be the 3rd time he loses the Khan? I think it might be. Yeah, he loses the Khan for a 3rd time. Holy smokes, Kazva. Well, I guess there must be a record for how many times you lose a Khan in the game. I wonder what that record is. Maybe Kazva's itching close to it. Who knows? But Kazva does have a lot of military on the field, right? 60 economy, 24 military. Looking a bit dicey for Core. He needs to back off. He can't really take this fight. And interestingly enough, Kazva's going to go up to the castle with a step down. It's kind of not expected. Usually when you have trade, you tend to go for the Kurultai. But has to be said, it's not like he's got a lot of trade anyway, to be fair. So, he's trying to invest in that step down. Wants the gold income. He wants the power spike in terms of units, rather than positioning with the Kurultai. Which is understandable to an extent. I like the choice in some ways. Might be doing well to move the capital town centre though, because you don't want the villagers dropping off the town centre. You want to drop off the step redoubt. For those of you who are unaware, the step redoubt acts as a GURP, and gold can be dropped off onto this thing, and it increases the gold drop off by 50%. As you can see, Kaz is just keeping his trade route alive, and 65 economy to 51, getting out of hand kind of things there. I'm really surprised though. Like, I think maybe he's doing this so that it's a little bit easier to defend, but I don't know, man. I mean, could be getting a lot more gold. It is what it is. Loses a couple of traders though. Oh, he misses on that one there, Core. Trying to get outposts there, Kazva, to protect that trade. He's going to snipe the villager potentially here. Doesn't. I think he should be able to get it if he dives in. He probably should commit, and now he's got to get out of there. But he does just that. He snipes the villager. But he's going to need to do more than just that though, Core. He does have 1 relic in the bank already. Going to look to pick up another. He has preemptively actually built 2 monasteries as well. He's feeling optimistic about it for sure. The horsemen continuing to just harass that trade line as much as they possibly can. The Keshiks are on the chase. Got to charge in. Oh, that could be bad. Okay, the spearmen do get in position, but Core is wise to the ruse and he backs off for now. Heading into almost the 15th minute of the game. There's the Khan arising again from the ashes. The 3rd. This is the 4th one now. The question is, will we see a 5th? This guy has immortality. He seems to know his way around to arise himself from ashes again. Core's starting to build up a good core army. Unintended. With spearmen involved, with longbows on the back line. Longbows need to snipe out the spearmen though, if they can. And that will allow the horsemen for the English to dive in. Same would be said for Kazva's situation. He'll want to take out the spearmen that the English have with these archers. And he's doing just that. The spearmen engage. I don't think Core has enough spearmen here. I think Kazva just wins this fight. He has got a lot more military in this field. Fighting around the sacred site. The Keshiks are going to dive in on the archers and the veteran horsemen. Spearmen have been taken apart, and for Core that's a problem, because Core can no longer dictate the terms of this fight. Not with these spearmen engaging. Core not getting out of there. The king might be going down very soon. Needs to be careful. The king survives for now. Backs off, and he lost a lot though, Core. And that's a bad situation, because it means that Casva's economy is just going to scale even better, being completely untouched. And yes, that's a bit of a pain, isn't it? So these guys aren't getting as much gold in as these ones. It is what it is. The trade route is still running. Let's just see how many traders it's got. It's got 7 traders. Nothing to write home about, but it's not too bad either. Like, it really does pay for itself quite quickly, and it really escalates that economy. Looking very nice. Speaking of gold, pretty decent income here for Casva. 1,000 gold coming in per minute. Pretty similar for Core. I think maybe Core's just over-gathering a little bit here on gold, although it looks like maybe these farms are fresh. So farming transition is in, and it's looking to get some man-at-arms with the barracks, it seems. We'll see. It does have 3 relics to his name, looking to get another one. So this is holding him in good stead for the late game, if he gets there. A couple of villagers heading out to the wood line. Looks like the shaman popping out for the Mongols. Casva wants to actually get a couple of relics of his own if he can. There's only one more on the field though, so he'll only get one. Maybe he could look to get some sacred sites. We'll have to see how he decides to play this one out. Well, the monk there for things trying to snipe it and get that relic. He won't be able to do. Trying to get the relic in the north, but there is no relic there, I'm afraid though, Casva. It's been taken, my friend. The English beat you to it. But Casva's economy has been looking very strong for a while now. It looks to continue to get better, as Core does look to start getting those upgrades. Iron Undermesh coming in sooner. Specialized pick as well. Iron Undermesh is already in for Casva, so he'll be okay on that front, going against the ranged units that Core will have. And Core's dropping down more stable, so it's going to be certainly it's kind of a mixed army composition, because he does have a couple of barracks. I wouldn't be surprised to see a very heavy kind of gold and food based resources units, like going for crossbows, knights, and man-at-arms. It will mean that you need a lot more farms. Maybe if you can get to the Imperial Age before too long and get the enclosures, that will really help his economy. And obviously he won't take that population space that the trade is now taking for the Mongols. But he won't mind, because the gold income will be very nice for him. I just really wish he just extended the trade there. It makes a big difference. Sacred site in the north being decapped, or at least held on. Actually, it's not being contested. It's been contested. Obviously, the English monk got there first. Here comes a couple of units to take out the outpost. Villager will be going down for Casva. We'll lose one. Got plenty of more, though, of course, in the civilization. Spearmen are just trolling this trade route for Casva. And the English have done a little bit raiding of the trade, but perhaps not as much as he would like to have done. He's looking to get those key critical upgrades now. Getting the food upgrade, fertilization, and also man-at-arms. The castle age man-at-arms. Also getting melee armor upgrades. So looking to increase the viability of these units in a fight, which might just be happening right now. I think, well, Core needs to back off on this, because quite a few of the Keshiks, accompanied with the Khan, it's a fight that Casva would love to take. He's going to deactivate the northern sacred site. Army coming down in the south for Core. Core does have quite a bulkiness to the infantry line in his units, in his army, so he's going to be a little bit less mobile than we perhaps anticipated at the beginning of the game. Opening with horsemen. Looking to get the sacred site in the center. Is that the center one? Yeah, that is indeed the center one. No, it's the southern one, rather. And the outposts are going up, which is going to be nice for Casva's trade. As you can see, these guys got a golden hue around them because of the YAM network increasing the speed by 15%. And, right, well, of course, we're going to dive on the wood line. We're going to try and get some value here, Core, but the Keshiks going to get surrounded. I think Core dived in a bit too much here. He's kind of surrounded, and it's kind of blocked. I don't think he can escape. Keshiks will take out the units, the horsemen, and the king. Does the king go down? He's trying to block, maybe? No, I don't know if the king goes down, actually. Oh, 2 HP. I think the Khan needs to get there. One more hit on the Khan. Oh, and he gets him. The Khan takes him. Hero versus hero. The Mongols' hero triumphs, although it's kind of the 4th hero for the Mongols. You've lost 3 of them already. The crossbows there for Casva. Going to focus on the knights and the heavily armored units and man-at-arms that the English have. Got to deal with the longbowmen there as well. And the Keshiks could come in, swooping in, do a decent job on those. Needs to get there now, though, because the military number is looking pretty good for Core. 48 to 30, and that's looking nice for him. He needs to snipe economy, though, because the economy is starting to get online for Casva. Casva, if he can convert that economy into military, he'll be looking good. Going to sacrifice a couple of longbowmen. He's going to focus on the traders for now. He's doing a decent job, though. He's losing a lot of the traders. And the English will be quite happy about that. Now it does redirect the traders for now, but it's going to need to focus on the crossbows. The longbows will go down. The Keshiks are getting a good surround. The army has been split up into two, though. This is a kind of a bit of a problem for Kor in some ways. Like, thankfully for him, Hazra doesn't have a huge number of army, although he does have a lancer there poking at the villages. Because, you know, when Kor loses his army, we talked about this as the English. If you lose your army on the front lines, it's very difficult for you to remass, and if they get caught out of position, it could be very dangerous. And we could potentially see that kind of situation here, because the Keshiks will survive this. And he'll clean this up. And despite only having 18 units, these units for the English will go down very quickly. He's starting to trickle in units though, Kor. So we'll be adding reinforcements, but I'm not sure that's wise. He needs to keep a mass of them alive and take a good critical fight. Villagers trying to get an outpost. I don't think that'll work in the end. Longbows are focusing on those. The Keshiks clean up. 23 military to 19. It was a lot more than that earlier, but as you can see, the power of the Keshiks is looking strong. Alright, well, the truth of the matter is we saw the king coming up for the English, hoping that he'll do a lot of damage and help the English to victory. Will he be able to do that today? What I do know is the English have a lot of gold. Holy smokes, Kor, man. Get some more farms, get to that Imperial Age, get the Berkshire Palace, protect your economy, wall up, and then play the English long game. And hopefully, you'll stand a good chance in this game. He's going to go for the Berkshire Palace, or the Berkshire Palace, I should call it. It's called the Berkshire Palace, damn it. Even though it's spelled with an E. So I sometimes forget. 23 village is going to be building the Berkshire Palace. That's right, the Berkshire. Can we protect that front line and the farms? And more than anything, that will be really benefiting his units in terms of the elite upgrades, but also enclosures will help his gold income. Not that that's a problem right now. I think really he needs to balance that economy, especially when enclosures come in. He's got 13 villages on gold, and it's plenty for now. Going to deactivate the sacred site in the southern border of the map. And we can look to cap the sacred site himself, it seems. Or maybe not. He's going to leave the shaman behind. Alright, well, Kor now reaching the Imperial Age. Kazva's just going to see what's happening, but it's going to run into the Berkshire Palace. Berkshire Palace, got to say it right. Going to try and take an outpost or two with the horsemen. And the Berkshire Palace's range is actually kind of bonkers, actually. Let's take a look at it, what it is today. Not that it changes any other day, but 15 tiles range. Kind of bonkers when you think about it. Needs trebuchets to try and deal with that. And the trebuchets would have to be on maximum range as well to do it. Alright, well, looks like spring order placements coming in for the outposts for Kazva. Staying in the castle age for now, but could be itching towards that Imperial Age himself if he wishes to. Might be looking just to build up a critical army and try and defend the horsemen coming in. Keep the trade alive, and he'll be looking in good positions. Does he actually have villages on gold? He does still have 9 villages on gold. A lot of traders though, so could do well to get some more pastures. Going to get a keep on the northern sacred site, and these 2 golds will be protected by that, which is actually kind of critical for the English. As we head into almost the 24th minute of the game, Keshiks are going to dive in though. It might get a good few kills before the keep actually finally goes up. The question is, will it go up? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, guys. I'm not sure this goes up. Will it go up? I think it does just about. Maybe it's going to be close. Oh, that's the last villager. Oh, he gets it. He doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. He gets that last villager. And unfortunately, Kor's going to have to get more villagers out here to build that keep. Has he sent any? I'm not so sure. He does have a couple of villagers here he could send. In any case, that was bad for Kor, that is for sure. On the east side, he's cleaned up the raids. Kazva. Now he's going to go to the Imperial Age with the Kaganet Palace. Tithe Barn's coming in for Kor, which is a very nice upgrade because he does have 4 relics. That will increase the food, wood, and stone for his economy, getting 30 food, 30 wood, and 30 stone for every minute of each relic being placed there. It's quite expensive, 500 gold, but it's not like he doesn't have that gold anyway. I hope for his sake he's got enclosures. He does indeed, so we'll be getting that sweet, sweet gold. The problem for Kor is I think he might be losing this keep. Oh, no, this is bad. He didn't delete it. That's the biggest doubt keep you see. And he's getting outposts as well, Kazva. That keep, I mean, Kor, he needs to bite the bullet. He's going to just rush villagers to this. I think he's going to try and keep it alive for as long as can. Oh no, guys. Oh, he deletes it in the end, I think. And he gets a bit of stone back, but that was painful. We're going to get some outposts. I mean, Kor needs to be careful not to take any unusual fights. He does have elite horseman upgrades, and the upgrades aren't there for Kazva yet, so this could be a good time to take the fight. The trouble is with trade and 2 town centres, it's looking strong in the economy for Kazva. Even if Kazva loses this military in the fight, he does have that propensity, the ability to maybe rebuild. And he's going to have to rely on outposts instead of keeps again. Next time, he's got to bring more villagers core. It's unfortunate that it got scouted. Alright, well, 66 military to 49, but the Keshiks are a real powerhouse unit here. And the concern for... I think this is a big concern for core. I don't think he has enough spearmen. Doesn't have enough anti-cav. This could be an issue. Like, the horsemen just don't measure up to it, and neither do the longbowmen. This could be a bad fight. Even though core has military numbers advantage, it's got like a handful of crossbowmen. I'm not sure if there's a handful of spearmen. Let's just take a look. There's like 7 spearmen and 3 crossbowmen. I don't think it's going to be enough to take a fight here. It might be diving in. It does have the king to heal up the units as they engage in the battle. Here's the fight. Going to take it underneath the outposts. Here it comes. Keshiks is going to dive in. Going to be almost going into the bracing spearmen, but the crossbows for the Mongols, for Kaz, are going to pick off those spearmen. If the spearmen go down, the Keshiks are going to dive on what remains. The Keshiks are going to try and get some value on the longbowman. He's going to have to head back. He's just got not enough units. He does have the attack speed from the network of castles bonus from the outpost, but it's not enough. The king goes down, and the truth is that the Keshiks are the powerful unit here in this matchup. Mongols versus English. The crossbowmen are on the back line, sweeping everything around, and Keshiks coming in, riding from the south. The keep does go up in the end, but he gets a new keep there in that position. But Kazma might just trying to torch this down. He's got 13 villagers garrison inside. The keeps have been nerfed. I don't think he has boiling oil, and even if he does, the keeps are very vulnerable these days to melee units. And well, Kazva is going to look to take that down. Core has lost a lot of resources just getting a keep in this position. And the trouble for Core is that he's on 140 population. Kazva has up to 200 population. He's being raided here, but look at the outposts on that trade. Just absolutely spam them. And Core just cannot deny the trade at this point. If he does try and deny it, he's going to lose a lot to these outposts. And that's a problem situation. Keep goes down in the north, and the villagers will be taken down. That's 13 villagers that Core will lose in a blink of an eye. And he does have 2 town centers effectively to reproduce, but he is fighting a losing battle, at least in terms of economy. And he's slowly going to take the outpost, but without any siege. He's going to use it just brute force with the units and those horsemen. But the numbers are going to start to whittle down, and now all of a sudden Kazva's army is going to head in that direction of his main base. That is a bit of a concern. He's going to go straight in the direction where the Berkshire is not covering. Does get a couple of warrior monks from the Kaganet Palace. Traders are being harassed, but with the outposts that are there, I don't think he can deal too much damage. Like, the outposts are getting so much value, and this allows Kazva and his army to go aggressive. Like, this is so bad for Core because the outposts are holding and defending the army that Core has sent. Core needs his army back home because his farming economy is under a lot of pressure. He's going to send the horsemen back. That's the unit that he has mobility with. A couple of palace guards heading in there for the Mongols, taking the engagement on that wood line. It does look like Kazva will win this fight, but not without casualties. And, you know, when the defender's advantage is in play with new units coming in, he will lose. The Berkshire Palace getting involved now. So, okay, the Keshiks will go down. But they're getting good value, and at the end of the day, Kazva is at maximum population. He can just spam units. And if he deals with this raid, then he'll be absolutely fine. But he does need to deal with it. Quite a few idle units there for Kazva not getting involved into the fight. And the trade has been denied for now, but he lost a lot to do it. Oh no, Core is losing villagers on gold. Down to 66 villagers. That is terrible. Only now getting the network of citadels bonus, but it is not enough. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Well, the truth of the matter is, the truth of the English king is that it's not enough to topple the Mongol Empire today. GG's Kazva. Hope you guys enjoyed the castle game. Take care, and see you next time.